you can see, it is now pouring outside. My car door even got all wet, just having it open for a second as I grabbed my food off the grill. So glad that I have a nice dry place to be. Obviously I could have gone in the house, but it's pretty chilly today. It's about, oh, let's see, what is it? It's only like 55 degrees out. So to be inside is okay if you're working, but if you're sitting eating lunch, the inside of the car is a much better option. So, but it was fun to see. So I just started up I have a propane camping grill that I bought this spring, and I hadn't even used it yet. It's just been sitting in my shed. I bought it off of Facebook Marketplace for, I think $30 if I'm remembering right. It started right up. So that was really cool, but I had just about gotten my food all the way hot and it started to drizzle a little. And then I was like, oh, I should probably, you know, get it finished up. And then it started to pour. I'm like, okay, well, it's good enough now. We'll just eat it the way it is. So, but it was fun to see that that works. Makes it nice options for what to bring when I'm coming over and gonna be here for lunch or lunch and dinner. So, yeah, today I'm just working on filming some videos to share with you guys, answering some questions that people have often about my house. And then kind of doing a little bit follow-up on some of last week's projects, going into a little more detail of how it came together and some of the reasons for doing what I was doing. Yeah, and just some details. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to today. I am hoping to still work on taking some more boards down in my bedroom as well, and just keep moving forward on projects. So yeah, it's a good start to the week. I wanted to explain a little bit more about the project here behind me on the wall, where we were replacing rotten boards and kind of the process that we went through, and to determine, you know, what needed to be replaced and that kind of thing. Last week's video was kind of quick and just kind of showed you the process, but I thought that it might be interesting or helpful for you to know kind of more of the processes and behind the scenes side of that. So I'm gonna kind of walk through that here with you now. And again, I am not a professional. Maybe there's a better way to do this, but I think based on research that I've done that this is sufficient. So, all right, so we still need to find one more board for our section there, but otherwise this is pretty boarded up at this point. If you'll remember, this 2x4 here was the one that was very rotted. We were just able to pull out a big part of it just with our hands. It just kind of fell apart. So we sistered in a 2x4 to replace that. So that means basically that we, you know, cut one that was sufficiently longer so it could be screwed into the old 2x4, and then just kind of put it back in that same spot as close as you can. And then with this one, it wasn't rotted through enough to warrant doing that. So what we did is we took, and you'll see the difference in size between this new 2x4 and the old 2x4, both the 4, you know, the length of it, and then the width. You can see the difference. But this one we put flush against where the wall would go. And then this one is flush with this side of the 2x4. So basically what we were doing there is that these exterior boards needed something to screw onto. So that's where the pink one comes into play. Basically the exterior edge of this old 2x4 was kind of rotten and didn't give us a good surface to screw into. That's why we added in these other ones, just to give it a little more stability and to give us a good strong surface to screw our boards onto. And then this one here, the same thing. It just, actually, no, I think the 2x4 here was fine, but we cut out the old boards right along the edge of that 2x4, so the new boards needed something to screw onto. So that's what that one's there for. yeah, so that's the majority of what we were doing there. As far as what boards to take out, it was kind of just trying to evaluate which ones seemed to be damaged. So you can see these ones up here. Sorry, the lighting's kind of bad right now with that light shining through there. But these ones up here are quite solid. And so we didn't go any further up. There was some damage over here, and so we went up that far on this side. So yeah, so I have at least a few other spots in the house that I know of that need the same thing done to them. So I'll show you those real quick. This is another one of those spots. When I started taking down the lath and plaster last year, this wall just kind of came apart. The boards came off the wall and it was very visibly rotten. So I'll be doing a very similar to what I did in the other room here. Just trying to get solid wood there again and not have any rotten bits or pieces of board left. So yep, and then there's just a couple other spots. So this is another spot similar to the one downstairs that we just fixed, that will need more work. I didn't know this was here. I could see behind the chimney from the outside of the house that it looked as if there was some boards missing or something. But the other day when my friend Erica and I were working up here, it was raining and water was actually just dripping right down the side of the chimney there on the inside. And you can see the damage that it's caused here. So for one, have to figure out if there's an issue. There must be an issue with the flashing around the chimney. So get that taken care of, and then get some new boards put on there, which will be trickier obviously than down below because we're working at the second story here. But that's another spot to take care of before we go too far here. So this is the last section of wall that I'm aware of right now that will need that similar work done to. You can just tell by looking at these boards, you know, they would just peel right off the wall, the siding would. And the fact that they're like that leads me to believe that there's probably some rot behind them as well. Obviously, if the water gets behind the siding, then it's gonna get through the boards behind it. Depending on how long it's been doing that, it will cause rot. So that's another spot to get buttoned up and fixed before we hit winter here. So yeah, a lot to keep me busy. Well, I hope that was helpful for you to see kind of more of the process that I go through to fix a hole like that. And then also things that are coming up that are similar. And this week was kind of a quieter week as far as projects. You know, last week was a lot going on. So this week, got down the rest of that wall in my bedroom upstairs, and then filmed these to share with you more of what's going on. The other main piece that was going on this week was I had an electrician come out and kind of walk through with me to see, I guess, where things are at. And my goal was to kind of get a estimate or something of what it would cost to have him do the electrical, just so I have kind of a ballpark of what that looks like, and to see if that's way out of my price range to have it done. And I should definitely be planning on doing it myself. If I do it myself, he would also be willing to work with me to, as far as helping me to know how much materials to order and kind of where outlets need to go to meet code and that kind of thing. So yeah, so he came out this week, looked things over, which was helpful, but also a little discouraging because I all summer have been thinking, okay, I'm trying to get the walls down to the studs so I can get electrical done and get the insulating done, which does make sense. But the piece that I wasn't thinking about is that to do the order to do it would be the electrical and then the insulation, the spray foam insulation, if that's the route that I go, which is part of what I've been processing. But what I wasn't realizing is that to do the electrical, the house would need to be like airtight or watertight, I guess is more accurate. So all of those little gaps in the siding or things that need to be repaired need to be done before electrical can be done. So I kind of feel like, oh man, I should have been focused on the outside of the house this summer, getting all of that in shape so that I could do electrical. But I guess whichever way you look at it, the boards needed to come down off the walls. So I wasn't wasting my time, but I'm wishing that I had more time to complete that outside, where that would be easier to maybe have done in the summer, where the inside could be done in the fall, easier fall and winter. So just kind of kicking myself a little bit, but at the same time realizing that, okay, we're still making progress. It's not the end of the world. And then the electrician's supposed to come sometime next week and get an outlet put on my post where the power comes into the yard, so that I can run an extension cord into the house for lights and that kind of thing. So that'll be good. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around getting the outside completed and things like those holes in the wall that are rotted and need to be repaired done, so that I can get, you know, cracks filled or caulked and all of those pieces kind of moving forward a little quicker than maybe I was thinking. And I think just the weather is getting colder, so I'm definitely just feeling some kind of crunched pressure, you know, if that makes sense, crunched pressure. But yeah, still got some things done this week, happy with where things are at for the most part. And next week, the foundation specialists come and are going to be working on my foundation. So woohoo, that's exciting. Something I've been waiting for. So looking forward to seeing that come together, and yeah, just keep pushing forward on other things and trying to get moving on some of the outside stuff. So, all right, well, I hope you guys had a great week. If you enjoy watching my videos, subscribe to my channel and share it with a friend. Thanks.